Welcome to our step 10 of 14 in our workshop, the 14 steps of wealth attraction. In this step 10, we will take further the subject of will, the discussion of your willpower, which we discussed under step 9. And we will say, apply your willpower positively. Apply your willpower on the positive. That is the variation. A tendency to constantly turn your attention to opposing images around you in your imagination will affect your ability to retain a true and clear vision of wealth. Here are examples of a tendency to turn to opposing images. Dwelling on the stories of poverty experiences in your past, or dwelling on feelings from your past poverty experience. Oh, I felt bad, I felt down, I felt beaten, I felt like I would never rise up, I felt like I would never amount to anything, I felt like, dwelling on those. Now, dwelling on them is associated with deep emotions, deep negative emotions. Now, remember what we said in one of our discussions, that any thought in the mind which is associated with the deep emotions, strong emotions, it gets imprinted on the spirit. That's why people who dwell on negative attract negative. They attract. There's a tendency to positive tends to attract, to gravitate, to move towards positive people. And the negative tends to move towards negative people. Now, when you have a negative person and you give them audience, you will notice it. You can test it, you'll notice it. That every day they will come with a negative thing which happened. This happened. This happened. This day, this happened. The other thing happened. Because they are negative. They have strong negative feelings. So, a tendency to focus on opposing images around you, that is an example of it. Dwelling on poverty experiences of your parents or family, dwelling on the hardships of your early life, all of those are things we are tempted to do. Now, we dwell on them and we give it a name. It is just a testimony. I was just giving a testimony. I was just reflecting. We even call it thanksgiving. I was just giving thanks for where God got me from. Through these acts, you mentally place yourself in the class of the poor, which amounts to engaging a reverse gear back into the state that you are trying to get out of. The mind is a very sensitive place. Actually, part of your mind, your subconscious mind, does not know a joke. When you drop an idea there and you say, I was just joking, your mind does not know how to joke. It takes everything serious. If you take a day, a week, and you say, and you go back into the darkness of the past, into the poverty of the past, into the lack of the past, and you say, I've just taken a break off to reflect on the past. Your mind takes it very seriously. It says, this is the direction they want us to go. Now, our master wants us to move in this direction. Your mind, your subconscious mind, that connects to the Spirit of God, connects to the universe, does not know jokes, does not know what you are saying. It takes everything serious. Now, such behavior creates a hiccup. A hiccup. All of us have got a hiccup at one time or another. It creates a hiccup in the movement of favorable forces, favorable powers, and things toward you. You create a hiccup. Leave poverty and all things that pertain to it behind you. By following this teaching about wealth, you are accepting this theory of the universe, this theory about God, this theory about the Spirit of God, about wealth to be correct. So, rest your hopes of wealth and health and happiness in this teaching. This teaching is about you cooperating with God, cooperating with the Spirit of God, trusting in God and in His Spirit, trusting in the powers and the forces He has placed in the universe. James 1, 6-8 says, he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. Let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. If you are choosing to believe, believe. If you find yourself struggling between this theory of wealth attraction and what you previously believed to be true, ask yourself whether your previous theory has worked. You must have had some theory, some philosophy. Did it work? Over the past 5 years, over the past 10 years. Stay away from religious groups and beliefs that discourage efforts to create and build and achieve things on earth. Those beliefs which teach the world is soon coming to an end. Such teachings kill ambition and initiative in their adherents. Avoid spiritual influencers who preach that the world is useless and the world has gone to the devil. That God has lost interest in the world because it's evil. That the world only awaits judgment. Why attract wealth? The world is just waiting for judgment. While it is true that political, economic, and social conditions can get terrible at certain times, you only waste your time and destroy your chances focusing on them. You give the world a chance of getting better by focusing on attracting wealth into your life, into your environment, by the help of God, cooperating with His Spirit. You make it better. Even if the situation is bad, ugly, hopeless, you make it better. You make it more beautiful. You restore hope. You restore hope, you do better believing or having hope than losing hope. And so, our step we are exploring right now is that you command your mind to stay focused on the positive, to stay focused on the wealth you are coming into rather than the poverty you need to get out of. The only way you can help your area get wealthy is to get wealthy yourself. Use your will to give your total attention to wealth attraction. Ignore poverty. Do you recall speaking to someone in captivity to poverty? When you speak to people living in captivity to poverty, when you see people who have been held captive by poverty, don't speak like their fellow captive. Speak like one who is liberated from poverty. Even if it hasn't happened physically, at least in your language, at least in your thought. Don't speak like you are speaking to poor people. Speak like you are speaking to people who are transitioning to wealth. Speak to them like they deserve congratulations for attaining wealth, and not like they deserve pity for being poor. Inspire them instead of pitying them. Now, all of these things are not natural. The easier thing is to pity. Pity yourself. Pity the people because of their situation. That's the natural, easy thing. And especially in our African setting. When you go back to your friends, when you go back to your family, when you look at the poverty in the way they live, in the way they sleep, in the way they eat, in the way they move, in the way they work, you pity yourself. You say, oh, this is terrible. Focusing your time, mind, and thought to wealth creation isn't loss of concern for people. Attaining wealth, attracting wealth, is a noble aim that gives you the power to lift people in very many ways, wonderful ways. On the competitive plane, which we are trying to discourage, attaining wealth involves scrambling for power over other people. On the creative plane, it focuses on elevating others to greatness, unfolding the richness of your soul, serving humanity, pursuing lofty endeavors that will uplift the people around you. That's what is noble. That's what pleases God. That's what fulfills mankind. And so that is our step 10 of 14, where we are saying that will, your willpower, focus it on the positive, not on the negative. Thank you so much. I welcome you to step 11 of 14.